Accessibility Checklist F. Row and column headers shall be identified for data tables. What does this mean to you? The guideline is fairly straightforward in its definition. When instructors utilize tables, all titles and headers must be identified. This can affect all students depending on their learning style, restrictions, or even basic knowledge of the content. Presenting the information clearly, concisely, and with all necessary background information makes your tables universally designed. As shown here and in the written tutorial, this table clearly states what information is being contained within, and all columns are clearly identified. The content is organized in a standardized manner, following a clear and understandable layout. In this first table, rows are not used, whereas in the second table, it utilizes rows. Either method works just as well since the content in both tables is clear and consistent. In this third example, the table contains all the same elements but is a bit more complex. Since the row and column headings are necessary for understanding the content, the instructor was correct in also identifying these row and column headers as well. This creates a matrix that the student can use to ascertain the information needed. In our last table, we'll use our newly acquired skills to help us check our table. This table does have a few issues which we'll need to resolve. First, let's take the title and put it above the table rather than using it inside of a merged cell. These are not a best practice to use. Next, let's take our candidates and place them on different rows rather than being collapsed into a single row with repeated columns. That's better. Now our table is universally designed. We have a title or caption for the table. We have properly labeled columns and headers. And our information is presented in a clear and understandable standardized format. As we've shown in this tutorial, there is no single way to complete this checklist guideline. Just be sure to follow the described best practices to ensure your content is universally designed and as accessible as possible. Note: these tutorials are not designed to be comprehensive training resources, but rather to be used as tools for success. Achieving accessibility is a continuous process of training, learning, and practice. Use these tutorials as quick reminders of the skills you have acquired and to help with applying these guidelines to your course.